Hi, I've always been inspired by a quote from an American novelist by the name of Ken Kesey. He wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and if you ever read the book or watch the movie with Jack Nicholson, you will know that the author must have looked at life through a very different set of lenses. The quote which has always inspired me is, you can count the number of seeds in an apple. You cannot count the number of apples in a seed. And in that short quote is a profound polarity of the world of reality versus the world of possibility, the world of a finite answer, the world of an infinite question. And that's really been getting me to think recently about why our world seems so fixated on the finite, on the measurable, on the things you can predict, on the rankings. Schools rankings, top 100 schools over the last 10 years at rugby, always win the argument. Make sure you're number one sales agent, best quarterly asset manager. Everything is ranked and everything seems finite in a squashed sense of time. But I wondered if the world couldn't be infinite. And long before Simon Sinek wrote The Infinite Game, inspired by James P. Cass, who published a book in 1986 called Finite and Infinite Games, my world had an infinite player, my cousin Colin, and he was 16 years old or just before that. My father and him were very keen squash players, and they enjoyed a good relationship between uncle and nephew. And so the gauntlet was thrown down that young Colin could not beat old Colin at a game of squash before he turned 16. If that was the case, old Colin would have to buy the family a dinner and make a toast and publicly admit that his nephew was a better squash player. If young Colin failed to win, he would have to take an advert out in the classifieds and publicly admit that his uncle was a superior squash player. And so every couple of months, the family would gather together, the squash game was played, and the superior skills of the old savvy buffalo would often beat the raw energy of the young lion. As the months wore on, the games grew slightly closer, but it always looked as though young Colin, the inevitability was that he would have to phone the classifieds and place the advert. The day before he turned 16 was his final chance to beat old Colin. And the game wasn't a contest at all. He absolutely thrashed him. And when old Colin was helped up out of the sweaty corner and embraced in a sticky embrace by his nephew, he realized he had been played. He had been played by an infinite player. Young Colin always wanted to keep the game alive. He loved the family get-togethers. He loved the ability to compete against his uncle. He enjoyed the banter, but he knew that the minute he beat his uncle, the game would be over. It would be a finite game. And he always tried to keep the game alive, which was the measure of an infinite player. Alfie Kohn, in his book No Contest, says there's a huge difference between doing your best and beating others. Beating others is a finite game. Doing your best is an infinite game because you're always competing against yourself. And ironically, minutes after I finished this reflection, I received news that one of our great mentors from school days, a man called Ken Hovermeyer, passed away. Ken was a squash coach and he was blind. His hearing was so intensely good that he could tell you if the shot was close to the wall or if it had come out of the middle of the racket. He could tell you whether your left foot was in the right place or where you were on the court in order to get the right shot. He rebuilt a mini engine and he knew every staff member by the way they walked down the corridors of the school. He could recognize almost every single college boy's voice as he passed them. And as the WhatsApp group came alive with stories of Ken Hovermeyer, ways that he had helped them out of parents' divorces, out of tough times, out of a father's death at school, we realize that he was an infinite player. Maybe the world is finite and it's infinite, but it seems as though there's more joy and more significance in being an infinite player. So I hope you have a great week ahead, and we'll see you next time.